got some unfortunate news for Atlanta Braves ace pitcher Mike Soroka. He has tore his Achilles again and will not be pitching for 2021 and is facing a season-ending surgery for the third time, Mario. This is his third. This will be his third surgery on that Achilles. And the Atlanta Braves said that that the procedure will be scheduled within a week. So basically, what ended up happening, Mario, is he was at Truist Park while the Atlanta Braves are at Cincinnati to face the Reds. And he was continuing his rehabilitation. And what ended up happening, Mario, was it was his first day off the boot, and he was walking to the clubhouse, and that's how he ended up tearing it, which is so unfortunate, you know. It just goes to show you that even though everything looks well, you know, sometimes something can happen, and you just got to be aware of that, you know. And I have a quote from Barry Snitker. He said in that quote, "It was his first day out of the boot. He was just walking. I hate it for him. All signs were a go until he took that step and felt that pop." Yeah, Mario, this is a very unfortunate situation. I'll start off with this first, Mario, but before I do, I have one other quote from Brian Sticker. He said in that quote, "He puts things in perspective. He's ready for this next journey he's going to be on. The day it happened, it really punched him in the gut." And he ended up saying that Sticker texted Soroka on Saturday morning about hearing the news and later spoke with him by phone. And the source for this was ESPN Associated Press. So let me go first, okay? First of all, I wish Mike Soroka the best of luck, and I hope he has a speedy recovery. This is why you can never assume. This is why you can never assume. You know, I'll talk about my injury a little bit. You know, when I suffered my knee injury last year, you know, I had a lot of setbacks. You know, I got into a car accident, and I was doing my rehab and all of that, and I constantly kept getting set back. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, your doctors are horrible, this and that," and I'm like, well, you just can't assume. You know, because even if you do something right, something still can happen. You know, that's why when you're in the rehab process and you're finally given that goal 100%, even then you still kind of have to take it slow because something can happen. You know what I mean? And I had so many setbacks to the point where I ultimately had a surgery, which in the beginning that wasn't necessary because the injury wasn't as bad as initially anticipated. But it got to that point, which is why that happened. You know, because of the setbacks and a lot of other things that happen aside from that, you know, that's why you can never assume. You just can't ever assume because something can happen and that's just it, you know. And obviously I don't want that to happen, you know, to people that get injured. But again, like I said, when you're in the rehab process and you're injured and you still need to take it easy, you gotta take it easy. Even when you're given 100%, you're slowly starting to transition back into what you usually did before you got injured. You still got to take it slow. And that's just that. Now, obviously, of course, Mike Soroka was his first day off the boot. He was given a thumbs up for that, you know, and unfortunately it tore. Something like that, you know, like I said, that's why you can't assume. Because even though all looks well, something can happen. You just got to be careful for that, you know. And by no means is it the doctor's fault. You know, there are some things, you know, like I said, you know, they say to do this, and that, and something can happen to yourself that that you know makes the injury worse. And that's why I always tell people don't blame the doctor. Don't, because you can't really blame anybody in those situations. You know, you just can't. Because like I said, you know, Mother Nature strikes, and unfortunately, it struck for Mike Soroka. Now I don't know when he's gonna come back. It's probably gonna be it'll probably be next season. He'll come back most likely. He's not gonna pitch this year. I can definitely not. I don't see him pitching this year. So I do wish Mike Soroka the best of luck. As for the Atlanta Braves, this is definitely a gut punch for them. You know, because when Mike Soroka is healthy, he's a really good pitcher, and they need a pitcher for them right now. They need a lot right now, Mark. They're not playing all that great right now, like we expected out of them. They're just not playing good. So this is definitely not only a gut punch for Mike Soroka, but it's a gut punch for the Braves as well. So with that being said, you know, best of luck to Mike Soroka. Again, I'm wishing you a speedy recovery. And we'll just see what happens from here on out.
Yeah, well, first of all, I wish Mike Soroka the best of luck. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Look, it's really unfortunate in Mike Soroka's case, Nate. I mean, dude's only, what, 22, 23?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
He's young, you know, like he's a very young player, you know, and it's very unfortunate to see stuff like this happen. He had some promise. Again, 2019, he was an all-star. He had a 13-4 record with an ERA of 2.68. he had some promise, and I hope that these injuries don't set him back because last year he had a 3.95 record, but he only played again. He went 0-1. He didn't play a lot. So overall, I hope it doesn't set him back. I hope it doesn't because he is a young player, and he had some promise. Again, he was an all-star in 2019, so he is a promising player with potential. Overall, Nate, I look at it and it's so tough. It's a tough case. First of all, this injury reminds me of Teddy Bridgewater back when he was with the. That's the best thing I can describe it as. It's the best thing I can remember is like when Teddy, this is a non-contact injury. Teddy Bridgewater was the same way. He went into what do you call it? He went into practice, and then he ended up falling on the ground because he ended up tearing his ACL. It was a non-contact. And again, that stuff is very, very scary. Now, me personally, I would have kept him on the boot. I would have, because as a professional athlete, you want to make sure that they're 100% cleared before you even do anything. Or you want to make sure that there is, you know what I'm saying? That you can't predict stuff like this. Stuff like this will happen, which is why I'm not going to necessarily blame the doctor because it is a tough case. But overall, I would have kept him on it. I would have kept him on it a little longer. But who's to say this would have never happened later on? Again, stuff like this you just can't control. I never tore my ACL. Knock on wood, I don't want to. ACL, MCL, whatever the case might be, I do not want to tear those types of things because it's not a good feeling.
I unfortunately cannot say the same.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling, I suppose. So obviously, it is very unfortunate for him. He was just walking and this happened, according to Barry Snitker. So again, stuff like this you don't want to see happen. But yeah, Nate, regardless, I do wish him a full recovery. It shows you how serious these Achilles injuries are. It really does, because we all know they're serious. And I think Achilles injuries it's got to be up there as one of the top injuries in sports. It has to be like one of the most serious injuries. We see what happened with Kevin Durant. We see how much time it took away from him with his Achilles. So again, we know that it's a serious thing. So overall, Nate, I do wish Mike Soroka the best of luck. I do wish him a full recovery and a speedy one at that. And I hope that he can come back better than ever.